Good morning, everybody. Father Matthew here. Hope you're all okay. Um, it was a bit of a strange evening last night, listening to the radio and hearing my voice and a couple of my recordings. But there we are. I'll prepare myself for the queues of people waiting for my autograph, observing social distance, of course. But in all seriousness, no, it was an interesting and strange experience. But I quite enjoyed it. My mum was very proud. She listened from home. There we are. Well, this morning, when I said morning prayer, I was quite struck by the first reading, which was the story of the Israelites in the wilderness when God sends the quails and the manna. And there was an interesting part of it where it says that, everybody gathered up the manna, the strange bread in the wilderness. And funnily enough, manna in Hebrew means, what is it? Because, the people were finding this substance on the floor and saying, what is this? But it was the bread from heaven that was given to them in the wilderness. But anyway, they gathered it up, and what it says is that they all gathered, and those that gathered much did not have too much, and those that gathered little did not have too little. And it was an interesting thing how, to sort of think about that, everybody had enough, that God did not provide too little, too much, but just enough. And I wonder whether there's something in this time that we're going through where we're going to rediscover something of that just enough, because our society has or had become very sort of excessive in what we have. And I've noticed with going to the shops now, I've tended just to go down to the co-op here for bits and bobs. But I'm finding that I'm shopping slightly differently, that I'm sort of just buying enough for each day or each few days. And I wonder whether that's something that we're going to change, because it's interesting thinking about what's going to happen. I'm seeing headlines coming up about, the oil industry is really struggling, and I'm wondering how all of these things are going to affect our lives that we live, and it may cause us to worry actually, but. But as I think about that reading from morning prayer today, there was enough. And I wonder what it looks like to have enough, just enough. And for those of us that have more, I wonder what happens if we learn to be able to share from our excess with those who don't have enough. It's an interesting thing. We are seeing some good coming out of this situation. People helping each other, people appreciating people better. So I do wonder about those things. Going back to the recording that I'm doing, I recorded what I think is a lovely piece yesterday. It's an instrumental that has sort of, it has voices but not words as such. And I've recorded 15 different vocal tracks, all running together as a choir. And it's very effective. And I did each one individually. So it's in 5 parts. And, all sort of recorded individually and put together in, 3 on each part. And it's very effective. With some sort of mouth music. So there are syllables but not actual words. But that's good. And today, a bit later, in between things, I'm going to spend some time recording the Welsh hymn Ar Hyd y Nos all through the night in Welsh. And I think what I'm going to do is start with reading part of Psalm 139 in Welsh. Where it says, even the darkness is not dark to you, before I sing the hymn. I've sent a clip of what I've done so far to a friend of mine who's a Welsh speaker, just to make sure I've not made any serious mistakes. So I'll work on that before I commit it to recording. But that's coming up. But for now, I hope you're all okay and look after yourselves and each other. May God bless you. Bye for now.